Yeah, dear students, today we are going to talk about the new age program in cloud technology. इसमें टाइम लगता है. Dear student, today we are going to talk about the new age program into the cloud technology. My dear student, first of all, we need to understand that why why we are discussing today this topic, new age program in cloud technology. Because see, the whole world is evolving itself, whether it is in terms of, say, if I'm talking about as like starting from the universe, the human being is evolving himself. Say initially when like he invented fire, then goes for wheel. Now look at this pandemic. Due to this COVID pandemic, no one thinks that okay, can we teach without like books? Can we teach without this? I mean to say physically face to face with the student. So, but nowadays, see, the whole world goes into a changing era. So now we people are all like teaching online through this platform. So in the similar way, like early days, like if I'm talking about 20 to 30 years back, then we were talking about like the plain electrical engineering or say electronics and communication engineering. After that, this new branch of engineering came into existence that we call it a computer science and engineering. Now, from this computer science and engineering, the new now it is the time for specialization. And why we are discussing this specialization? Because just think about it, somewhere around 1.37 billion population are there in India. And out of that, somewhere around like 60 to 70% of the people, those who are using internet, and among those people, somewhere around 50 to 55 or 60% people, those who are using the social media websites. And out of those social media website, if I'm just estimating one thing, daily on an average 6 or 30 minutes, every user is going to spend onto this internet services. That means every time we are like posting, either in terms of like when we are searching something onto the Google, or like say when we are uploading any video onto the YouTube, or we are like accessing our mail, or when we are sending our mail, or we are using Gmail drive. So every time we are posting data. So this is how we are collecting the huge amount of data. So now when we collected this huge amount of data, where this data goes? The first question. Now coming to the second question, initially when we have started, like you might have observed from your parents or from your elders, that initially they people were using like floppy disk 5.25 inch, then to 3.5 inch, then to compact disk, then to like a pen drive, and then to like say a portable hard disk. And now see, but what is the risk in that? I have seen sometimes that when I'm like storing my data onto the floppy disk, then floppy disk doesn't work after some time. And similar was the case with the pen drive. Similar, maybe the life of pen drive is much larger than that of the floppy disk, that I can agree. But still, I want to say we cannot say the data is safe over there as well. Even in terms of portable hard disk, after some times of accessing it, they may also corrupt. So that means what we feel, that even in spite of like spending huge amount of this kind of onto say the storage devices, still we feel that the data is not stored. So now slowly the people have start migrating onto the say drives, whether it is I'm talking about Dropbox is there, or Google Drive is there, or the people who are using Mac, so they are having iCloud drive, they are having, so they are posting their data onto that drive. So this is a very small context which are setting up that what is cloud technology. So cloud, very in layman terms, you can understand that the, only one thing which you can understand right now, that is the we can utilize it as a storage. Although there are so many other very important applications which are related to cloud technology, but in terms of layman, you can understand that we can understand that at cloud we are storing our information, the one aspect. Now, before moving to like this into the cloud technology, just wanted to would like to just brief about the company which we are working about, that is iNurture. So, dear student, at iNurture, so basically it's a pioneer edtech solution provider. So basically, what we do, we collaborate with the premium Indian and global universities to power new age undergraduate and postgraduate program through industry-aligned curricula and advanced technology enablement. So basically, what we do over there, so we design this new age program. When I'm saying designing, that designing is in collaboration with industry expert, what industry wants nowadays. So in collaboration with those like industry personals, we are designing these curriculum. And when we are designing this curriculum, lots of other activities like in terms of say how the certification is amalgamation of in the practical labs, how the labs are going on to the virtual systems, live projects. So everything we manage being a iNurture as an education company. In addition to that, every time we are like say you can say the we are assessing the capability of the student, that how much he or she is ready with respect to the industry. We are having a dedicated portal wherein we are judging your say employability quotient, so that at any point of time you can improve it. So now after setting up this, so let's again moving to the this cloud computing. So you can understand that cloud computing allows access to the shared collection of system resources or high level services that can be readily supplied over the internet with fewer management efforts. Now, before moving ahead, just would like to set up another context with the say you might be knowing what is Netflix. So on early days, the Netflix is a DVD provider company. When their customer base grows, then they thought that why don't they should have their own infrastructure. But as and when their customer base grows exponentially, then this new terms comes up into the market. So now they have moved on to the Amazon cloud services. That means everything they are managing through the cloud services. Even at your home you can access Netflix and you can download the movies, you can watch movies and series and lots of other activity you can do with respect to the Netflix. So again, so far we are talking about in terms of storage. Now the second context you can understand, that is the processing power. Nowadays one more buzz term which you are listening, that is the artificial intelligence. When I am talking about artificial intelligence or data science, that means, as I already told you, that a mountains amount of data is being collected through the internet. Because I told you that on an average 6 hours 30 minutes we are spending onto the internet. So what we do with this data, how to extract the useful information from this data. So there comes into the picture of data science, or we can say the artificial intelligence. So in order to process this huge amount of data could be in terms of your video, data could be in terms of say images. So and see, look at the size of each video. It is not only in MB, sometimes it is in GB. So in order to process this huge amount of data, we require a huge processing speed. And in order to buy this processing speed at home or say at a small industry, it is very costly. So nowadays, these cloud services are available onto the various big short companies. So where we can like rent, we can take these processing speed on rent. We can run our algorithm and we can return it. That means it is pay as per the uses. You can on layman terms you can understand that whatever we will use, only for that number of hours we need to pay. So in this way, this is the second services which we can use, that is the processing speed. The third services you can understand in terms of say, like you are a very, you are a, I would say mid-sized company, and being a mid-sized company, suppose you would like to utilize some of the softwares, but the license version you don't want to buy. I mean to say, you need to design only a small application that is of say 1 month use or say 1.5 month use or a very short span of time. So you don't want to buy that software. So directly, in order to work on that software, you can directly go to the cloud services, can work on that cloud software, and can get back to your work. So in this way, you need to pay very meager amount. So this is how we can utilize the cloud computing. So the cloud computing, when I'm talking about cloud computing, that is the server, storage, mobile, application, and database. Everywhere we can talk about cloud computing. Now, another thing, let's understand about this cloud computing. Now, suppose you are owning a car. When we are owning a car, that means you require a garage in order to park that car. Time to time, you will be requiring service of that car. Time to time, I mean to say, the maintenance service is there. Time to time, insurance you need to purchase for that car, and other lots of things you need to take care of about your own car. But what if like you are requiring that car in only for few days in a week, or say I mean to say you are using that car for only for few kilometers in a week? Then why to bear such a huge expenses in terms of interest if you are taking loan from the bank? I mean to say you are paying insurance, you are paying for pollution. So it is always better to lease a car in terms of Uber or Ola. You might have used it, Uber and Ola services. So this is what we can say the cloud computing is. So if I'm leasing a car, that is your infrastructure as a service. If I'm using platform as a service, you can say taxi, or software as a service, you can understand it in terms of bus. So this is a very layman terms. We can understand that what do you mean by cloud computing? Similarly, another context I can set up in the form of a Flipkart. Everybody is using Flipkart, Amazon in order to buy. What happens when we put order onto these apps? So all these apps are putting their data onto these cloud drives. We call it. I would say these are the major companies which are providing the clouds. Google Cloud is there, Alibaba Cloud is there, Amazon Web is having its own cloud, Microsoft Azure is there, IBM is having its own cloud. So we can purchase these cloud services for using our app. So this is another application we can use. Now, why to use cloud? The first thing, as we were talking about, the first thing is that we can talk about cloud is it's an innovative idea. The second thing is that scalability. Now, suppose you are like developing a app. So initially, when Flipkart have developed the app, they might have like somewhere around 1,000 customer, or say 1 lakh customer, and suddenly now see their customer base grows into billions. So when we need to scale our capacity, then cloud computing is the best. So scalability, that is the environment gives us the freedom and power to make optimal set of computing resources to provide the extra capacity. The second thing about the cloud is that it is an affordable cost. I mean to say we need not to invest a huge amount in purchasing the hardware. We can pay per uses. So you only pay for the resources that you are going to use. The third thing, the best performance. Since the cloud hosting provide additional network uptime, guarantee no single point of failure. So all these kind of things we can say that the cloud hosting are performing the best. The next thing we can think about the cloud is that is security and disaster recovery. I mean to say they are secure. They are I mean to say they are having so many security measures. I mean to say in terms of data loss, in terms of process loss, in terms of sometimes a disaster happen. I mean to say like in case of a flood, your infrastructure go into the water. So all these kind of services I mean to say we can utilize. We can say that the cloud hosting is security and disaster recovery, and definitely we are using the latest technology into the cloud. So this is why we are using the cloud. Then coming to the next part of it. Now, what are the different kind of costs involved in data center? First of all, the server cost. Suppose you are a mid-size company or a company. Now, look at what are the different cost variable we are having onto our system. The first one that is we are talking about, that is a server cost. So in terms of server, that means you should cap racks. I mean to say where you are putting your hard drive, chassis you will be requiring, tor switches you will be requiring, and in addition to that, in order to spend after spending this much amount on say this hardware, we are going to like need to have some amount allocated for the maintenance as well. And in addition to that, we need to spend a huge amount onto the operating system, virtualization and licenses of those softwares. And in addition to that, we need to spend huge amount onto the space, power. I mean to say you need to purchase a genset, you need to purchase a cooling tower. So all these can come under the category of server cost. Second comes to the storage cost. So when I'm talking about storage cost, that it comes under the storage disk and FC switches, or the storage can be your admin cost. So again, as a facility cost, we need to pay for space, we need to pay for power, we need to pay for the cooling as well. Then in network, you have to be LAN wires, switches, this band balancer, then bandwidth cost. So everything we need to bear at our own. In addition to that, again, we'll be requiring space, power, and cooling. And in addition to all these things, we require a huge number of people who are going to manage this hardware. So this much the cost involved in if we are maintaining our own system, right? Now, how it evolves. So traditional IT, the evolving current state and the future of hybrid. So we can understand it in terms that initially we were having the dedicated and physical homogeneous resources with us, then onto the multiple cloud deployment model, and then now we are integrating the multiple cloud model in a single hybrid cloud system. Now let's try to get more knowledge about cloud computing. So far you have understood that what cloud computing is, why we require cloud computing. Now let's try to understand more about cloud computing. So the cloud computing can be understand that we can we can understand the two types of model generally we are discussing in cloud computing. The one is that the deployment model, and the second one is the service model. So when I'm talking about deployment model, so again in deployment model we are having public cloud, hybrid cloud, private cloud, whereas in service it could be your infrastructure as a service, that we call it IaaS, then PaaS, platform as a service, or a software as a service. So let's talk about. So first of all, let's talk about the cloud deployment model. So in cloud deployment model, there are three types. Usually we are having three types, and one more we can discuss, that is the hybrid cloud. So usually we call it three type of cloud deployment. The first one is the public cloud. The second one is the private cloud. Third one is the community cloud. And top of that, we are having the hybrid cloud, where we are utilizing all the three services of the public cloud as well as private cloud as well as community cloud. So let's try to understand. Let's leave it a little bit. So now let's try to understand the public cloud first. So in public cloud, the service provider hosting the cloud infrastructure makes the cloud available to the general public. Like you are using the Google, like you are using the Microsoft Azure or Amazon Web Services. So these are the public cloud. I mean to say we are using the shareable resources. You are also using the similar kind of cloud space. I am also using that cloud space. So this is what about is public cloud. I would say nothing is private onto this system. Then coming to the next part, that is private cloud. So this private cloud can be hosted internally as well as externally. They are not shared with other organizations. I mean to say you have your own space wherein you can put your software, wherein you can put your own application. So private cloud are more expensive, but yeah, definitely they will be more secure because intervention is I would say there is no intervention from the other companies. So example of private cloud is your VMware, vSphere, vCenter, OpenStack, Citrix Cloud Stack, Eucalyptus, Microsoft System Center. So these are the some example of the private cloud. Coming to the hybrid cloud, so we can say it's a mixture of public and private. So some part of the things we can be like say we can say private cloud, and some part of the things we can go for a public cloud. I mean to say wherever we require the security, wherever we don't want to exchange the information, that we can put it onto the private cloud, and where I want to say the information we don't want to be more secure, that can be put it onto the public cloud. And onto the community cloud, it is again a multi-tenant service model governed, shared, managed, and secured among several organizations and a service provider. So again, we can understand these are a hybrid form of say you can say the private cloud. So the community cloud environment, the idea from where we get it, that is the resource that need to be shared between several organizations from a specific group with a common computing goal. Like say we are having a chain of hospitals. Say Max is a one chain of hospital. Say Medanta is another chain of hospital. But the computing, I would say they must have the similar kind of requirement. So these kind of things can be utilized into the community cloud. For example, the hospital use the private HIPAA compliant cloud. Then coming to the service model. So as I've already told you that we are having three type of service models. Then one is SaaS. We call it a software as a service. Another one that is PaaS. We can understand that it's a platform as a service. And the third one is IaaS, that is infrastructure as a service. Now, my dear students, let's try to understand what is SaaS. Now, I want to say, while using your email services, are you developing software? No, we are not developing software. We are just utilizing the email services designed by either Yahoo or Google or Hotmail. So that means we are using this software, email software, for our users. So we call it as a software as a service. Similarly, we can use ERP. See, Tata Consultancy Services having its own ERP. There are so many companies which they have developed their ERP, and so many other industry and organizations are using that ERP. So this is what we call a software as a service. Then coming to the platform as a service. So here we can say build it, like application deployment, decision support, web screening. So here, like you can understand, like say Jupyter. So Jupyter is a platform wherein you can develop our own application. So this is way how we can utilize the services as a platform. So then coming to the infrastructure as a service. Now suppose you are hiring all the networking switch, you are hiring the server, you are hiring the security space, networking, security file. So that means here we can migrate. So this is we call is a infrastructure as a service. So these are the three models which you can understand in terms of now the cloud computing service model share responsibility. What is the difference? What is the key difference between SaaS, PaaS, and IaaS? Let's try to understand. First of all, I'm talking about on-premises. That is the traditional way of computing, we can say. So in traditional way of computing, on-premises, that means we are managing the application, we are managing our data, we are also managing runtime, middleware, operating system, virtualization, everything we are managing at our own. Whereas in case of infrastructure as a service, we are managing application, data, runtime, middleware, and operating system. And rest, we can that can be managed by the cloud services provider. That is a virtualization. They can provide a server, storage space they can provide, and what networking they can provide. So these are the services we can utilize under the banner of infrastructure as a service. Whereas in case of platform as a service, we are only managing application and data. All things we are taking rent on rent, runtime, middleware, operating system, virtualization, server, storage, and network. Then coming to server software as a service, that means everything that we are utilizing from the vendor. So this is, we can understand that this is the key difference between SaaS, PaaS, and IaaS. So just try to more explain that in SaaS, Workboy, Salesforce, Microsoft Office, you are using at your home, Gmail. So everything like is we can utilize under the category of software as a service. And a platform as a service is your say Heroku, Amazon Web Services. These are the example of your platform as a service. Whereas infrastructure as a service, we can understand VMware, Windows Azure, OpenStack, Chef. So all these are the examples of an infrastructure as a service where it can be private, it can be public. So this is all about. Now, the question arises that why the customer are moving to the cloud. I've already told you that due to we can scale globally, we can increase innovation, we can acceleration the time to the business value, we can reduce expenses, we can streamline and enhance the infrastructure decision, we can increase the speed as well as the agility, and top of that, the trade capital expense we can minimize. So this is why the customers are moving on to the cloud. I'm not going to discuss this part now. See the cloud markets share. So cloud computing market capture by organization size. See, 52% of the cloud market is nowadays captured by the Amazon Web Services. 21% of the market is being shared by the Microsoft Azure, and 18% of the market is captured by the Google Cloud. So this is the market size and the different players who are working into this market. Now, one more thing I would like to tell you over here is that since we were talking about the data, and while talking about the data, so when we are putting anything, when we are putting data onto say the cloud, then we will be requiring security, we will be requiring artificial intelligence algorithms. While capturing the data, you will be requiring the services of Internet of Things. That means the devices we can utilize. The blockchain algorithm, again, it's a new term. We'll talk about later on to this. So in blockchain, we can utilize the virtual reality, augmented reality. So we cannot say that this emerging technology cannot be separated from other. They are working in alignment of each other. I mean to say, wherever we are talking about artificial intelligence, yes, we are having cloud computing as well. Wherever we are capturing the data through Internet of Things, various devices, again we are having cloud computing. Similarly, for blockchain, again we'll be requiring. So robotic process automation. So I would say each and every technology is like amalgam of cloud and emerging technology. We can understand. Just like a landscape of the various Amazon Web Services. In DevOps, we are having AWS Code Commit, AWS Code Pipeline, Amazon Cloud Watch. In mobile, we are having Amazon Cognito, Amazon SNS, AWS Device Form. In application, we are having Amazon Cloud Search, Amazon SES, Amazon SWS. Whereas in infrastructure, we are having Amazon EC2, Amazon Lambda, S3, Amazon Route S3. Whereas in security, it is ACM, Amazon Inspector, AWS Directory. So these are the services which are offered under the banner of Amazon Web Services. And this digital transformation services with respect to the cloud, like in artificial intelligence, we are having Amazon Lex, Amazon Machine Learning, Amazon Recognition, Amazon Poly. And in databases, Amazon DynamoDB is one of the most utilized resource among the database, that is DynamoDB. And in analytics, we are having Athena, Cloud Search, EMR. So all these are the various services which are provided by the Amazon. And these are the integrated artificial intelligence services, that is Amazon SageMaker, Amazon Lex, that I've already told you about. In addition to that, this Torch, Cafe, we can say Theano, CNTK. So data science and researcher, they all are using these services. And all these services can be utilized simply by paying hourly or say weekly. You can pay whatever you want to use it. You can use it, and the only that amount you need to pay. You need not to have, I would say, very high-end system onto your house. Being a researcher, when say after some time, whether you are going for a course for say Bachelor of Computer Application or say BSc or BTech, but later on when you will be coming on to the advanced stage of these modern age technology, then you will be requiring certain kind of services. I mean to say, suppose you are developing a project. So while developing a project, that you may require certain services which are to be utilized in artificial intelligence. So you can take these services onto the rent from Amazon, from Google. Google is having its own TensorFlow and other services of this machine learning. So you can utilize those services. Now, would like to share the cloud market for forecast for 2020. Just understand that as per the forecast, that in year 2022, $331.2 billion market is going to increase in this particular area, that is we call it cloud computing. This is the only merely a figure which I am telling. When I am saying that the market capture is there in terms of this huge amount of say investment, that means definitely this investment will be into the industry. When this investment will be into the industry, that means lots and lots of job prospects will open. So that's why you should go for these kind of modernized new programs. See the growth, how the cloud job market, it's growing exponentially. For Amazon, it is 58%. For Python, it is 44%. These are the top skill employer value in a cloud engineer. So the growth of the cloud services industry will be about 3 times that of the overall IT services. So this is the huge amount of growth which we are expecting. That is $331.2 billion by 2022, and it is a research which was done by a Gartner. It's a very, I would say, authentic firm which is doing the market research for the future, for you can say the forecast. So these are the various courses which we are running under the banner of iNurture. That is cloud technology and information security, wherein you can learn the fundamental of cloud computing, data structure, and get exposed to the concept of service administration, business management, professional communication, learn in depth about the ethical hacking, cryptography, virtualization. And these are the various job roles you can have after doing this CTIS course. That you can be a cloud operation engineer, you can be a cloud network engineer, you can be a cloud administrator, and so on. There are so many available. So now another course which are associated with this cloud technology, that is cloud technology and mobile application. As I've already told you that no technology is working as a alone. They are, I mean to say, working with some other, aligned with some other technology. So that's why we are developing these kind of courses. Then coming to cloud technology and mobile application. So therein we can understand the concept of mobile operating system architecture, Android platform, and web apps for the Android platform, training student close platform technology, developing mobile apps for different mobile operating system. And yes, these are the job roles which are being offered under the banner of this cloud technology and mobile application. That is your cloud operation engineer, cloud network engineer, you can be a cloud administrator. So all these are the job opportunities which are available with respect to the cloud technology. So now under this, the banner of this cloud technology, there are so many certification. And my dear student, why these certification are important? Because they told us that the certification is a, I mean to say, you can say it's an authenticity that you know that particular aspect. So let me tell you what are the certification level and rules. Just as example, I am taking that at foundational certification, we can be associate certification, we can be a professional certification. The different roles can be a developer, administrator, architect, and in the professional you will be having say AWS solution architect, system ops administration. This is another certification. AWS developer associate, another certification. Cloud pet. So this is the I would say foundational level certificate. where you will require 6 months certification. So cloud practitioner, and this can be the specialty in this, into this. So AWS advanced networking, big data, security, machine learning, Alexa skill builder. So all these certification, what we do at iNurture, so we are aligning their practical work onto our lab work. So as and when you will go through those lab works, that means you are directly ready to go for this kind of certification. So this is the advantage of joining these courses, and these are the list of the companies which are I'm sorry. So these are the company which are providing the cloud certification: Amazon, Microsoft Azure, VMware, Cloud Platform, IBM, Red Hat, Salesforce. So these are the companies. And again, I'm telling you that entry level, these are the various job roles available for a cloud company. That is cloud operation engineer, cloud network engineer, cloud administrator. At intermediate level, you can be a senior cloud support, and at senior level, you can go up to a chief technological officer. So these are the job prospects. These are just an idea that usually, initially, that at very initial level, you can be have. Yeah, I want to say just an. I'm just indicating that this much be the salary range at initial level while going through this cloud technology course. So, my dear students, now it is open for question and answer. Now, some of the question I can look over here. That Ms. Buddha is telling that what are the skill required for a successful career in cloud technology. Very good question, Buddha. So basically, the skill set which you will be requiring in this cloud technology, that you should be, I'm going to say, the data, you should be very good in databases. You should know what are the various operating system structure is. And yes, there are so many cloud computing services. So you can go through the Amazon Web Certification or cloud virtualization, you should know. So I'm going to say all these courses which we are offering under the banner of 4-year course or 3-year course, you can be a cloud experts. So initially, what you will be requiring, you should have a good knowledge of operating system. You should have a good knowledge of the various cloud architecture, and top of that, you should know how to make the database connectivity, and little bit knowledge you should know about the architecture and networking as well. The second question, which is what is the scope of cloud technology in India? As I've already told you, this is the question posted by Upasna. So my dear student, so basically I've already told you that the very good market growth is like projecting various research companies like Gartner is projecting $331.2 billion investment is going to increase by 2022. So yes, there are lots of job opportunity which are coming into the market with respect to the cloud. How the third question I can take, hope I have answered this. Is it better to do a certification course in cloud or take up a full-time course? So this is the question posted by Hussein Sagar. So Hussein, let me tell you, see, whenever we are moving on to industry or into a, say any company, then you should have a degree course first of all. So why we are taking degree course, whether you are going for a Bachelor of Computer Application or BSc or say BTech. So this degree course, see, there are so many other additional features. Like say, if you are going through BTech, then you will be acquiring your professional communication knowledge. You will be acquiring, say, mathematical knowledge. You will be acquiring the basic engineering etiquettes. You will be acquiring the knowledge of operating system, networking. So many other subjects which you will be requiring to be a cloud architect. Yes, certification is required, but certification that is top of this basic technology. These are the basic domain knowledge which you can acquire through the courses only. The next question which I can take is, how has COVID-19 is effective the cloud tech industry? So my dear student, this cloud tech industry, if I'm talking about COVID-19, you might have observed that due to this COVID pandemic, now we all are moving on to the, say, digital platforms. Nowadays, we are working, I'm going to say 70-80% of the people nowadays, we are working on this cloud technology platform. So, so when I'm saying this, we are working onto a cloud technology platform, that means this huge amount of, from where there are lots of applications are being developing. whether it is in terms of a virtual class is there. If since you are a student, that's why I'm taking this example. So see, when we are moving all towards the digitization now, that means the scope of cloud computing is definitely going to increase, whether it is a government services we are talking about, or say private services we are talking about. Next question I can take. Yeah, cloud is prone to hacker attacks. So is not traditional better? Sagrika is putting up the question. Yeah, Sagrika, you are right that yeah, hackers can I mean to say hack your data. But see, when we are having data, I mean to say even I can say the cloud, the data on cloud is much more safe than the data onto your private devices. Suppose you are having, say, on your, you are putting up your data onto your computer. So at your computer or at your desktop, I would say we are not having so much security features which can protect our data. Whereas the company which are managing this cloud services, they are like having different kind of firewall. They are having different kind of antivirus, malware, ransomware attack. So they all are taking care of these attacks. So according to my opinion, the data onto cloud is much more safe than that of at our own system. Then I can take the next question. Please tell about the best cloud textbooks for the beginner. So initially, I would like to say that there are so many courses available instead of going on to the books. So basic, if I'm going to say, I don't know whether you are going, Aditya is asking this question. If you are like doing any course, then definitely you should know the basic technology of operating system, say database management technology or database management system, computer network. And top of that, you can say cloud essential courses you can go for. Either you can go for Amazon cloud essential courses, or you can say the Google course, take Google courses. There are so many online courses available. You can opt anyone, but you should have first join a degree course, and whether it is a 3-year degree course or it is a 4-year degree course. So these are the questions which I can take. If any more question, hope I have answered all the questions which are coming onto the chat box. Yeah, Aditya. Yeah. So if no more question is there, I think we can close over here. Best cloud tech books for the beginner. I think I have answered this. So thank you guys for joining this webinar, and hope you have enjoyed and learned a lot. And I'm assuming that from now onward, you should know, you will be able to know that what cloud technologies, what are the various job prospects are there, how the cloud technology market is going to increase. With these words, I'll okay. One more question somebody had posted, Mr. I am not able to. Matthew, yeah. What is the difference between cloud computing and mobile computing? My dear students, so mobile computing is whatever like application we are designing onto the mobile, and whatever algorithm you are using onto that, say whether it is in terms of app development or in terms of other application development, that comes under the category of mobile computing. Whereas in case of cloud computing, we are managing different kind of resources over there. If I'm talking about, say, storage space, now in order to balance that storage space onto the cloud, then you will be requiring certain technology and algorithm. So in order to manage that, say, I mean to say, you can have your cloud technology. So the next question which is coming up, that is, which are the best cloud tech company for the fresher? So my dear student, if I'm talking about best, everything is best. Like it all depends upon you how you are performing. But for I would say the best company, if I'm talking about Amazon, I've already told you that Amazon is doing very good into this cloud services. Then we are having like, say, IBM is also there, Google Cloud is also there, I'm saying Microsoft is also there. So all these companies are I'm saying offering very good job opportunities. But you should have a degree course onto it, and along with some kind of very good certification. Then you can I'm saying apply for these companies, and at initial level, definitely we can start our career with these companies. If no more question is coming up, I think that's all from my side. Thank you, dear. Thank you very much.